Hello everyone, and welcome to another Livestream event. Thank you for taking the opportunity to join us across the globe. Folks from all parts of the world are tuning in. I see UAE, Slovenia, France, Germany, Canada, and here in the US. So nice to see you all. For those of you who are new, my name is Crystal. I'm with Ascension One Collective, the foundation that supports the work of the channel. I'm here today to guide you into and out of the session. We've been offering these bi-weekly live stream events to deepen our practice at home. In last week's series, we explored the magnificence of you. This week, we're exploring faith and trust. As always, we have some newcomers, so I'm going to share a little bit to give those folks context to the work. Aseel studied within various spiritual traditions over the last 18 years. 5 years ago, he had a strong spiritual experience that opened up this connection that today we refer to as the channel. This is a connection to both powerful energy and wisdom that during the session he will embody and bring through. Through this connection, energy will come through him and reach all of those who are tuning into the live stream. This energy will allow you to go deeper in your meditation, as well as receive information, which will often take the form of a spoken transmission, or, in your own way, visions, messages, or an inner knowing. The process for Aseel to get into trance includes spontaneous movements of his body and hands, sometimes shaking of his body, fast breathing, and as the energy level rises, sometimes his eyes will roll upwards. It may not seem it, but this is all normal. His everyday human consciousness is still available to him while he's channeling, and he can stop the embodiment at any time. The channel will bring through guides that will specifically introduce themselves with the names humanity has given them. You may recognize some of the names as angels or archangels, but they never refer to themselves as such. Once the energy field is established, then an energetic alignment begins. People report having powerful experiences even over live stream. So it's really easy. During this time, sit back and focus on being in an open, meditative state. Just by being receptive, you've included yourself in this energy field, so there's nothing else that you need to do. During the session, you may also bring a loved one into your mind and heart to have them receive the benefits as well. You can set an intention. You can release any old wounds, thoughts, emotions that no longer serve you. People share often that things come up for them even in the absence of an intention. So flow with that also and just accept all that arises. Once the energy alignment is complete, Aseel will embody another celestial being who usually allows for questions to be asked. This is typically who we call Emmanuel. If you'd like to ask a question, feel free to type it into the Questions tab on the bottom of the screen in Crowdcast. The production team will then choose a few questions to ask the channel from the list. Keep in mind, there are a few hundred people watching this right now, so center yourself before you ask the question and ask yourself, what's the best way to ask this question that would serve the most people? We found that Emmanuel's answers are typically phrased in a way that serves the greater good, so if you're looking for a personal answer, the answer may not align with your expectation. The energy field pulls us into an interesting collective state, so you may find that if you have a question in your mind, you receive the answer in somebody else's question or silently inside yourself. We have a Crowdcast poll running at the Polls tab at the bottom of the screen. We'd like to know how this work impacts you. It's one question at the beginning, how are you doing before the session, and one after the session. With a simple scale from 1 to 5, it's very easy to answer. Please take a second and let us know how you're doing right now. For people who can offer a donation, it not only supports Aseel, but it supports the whole production team. Many of you donated to the last session and have already donated to this one. It's truly appreciated, and it really helps us keep this work accessible. We have links to the donation options in the chats. We invite you to listen with an open mind and an open heart. We recommend that you listen in a space where you can't be interrupted and you turn your phone off. We also recommend you stay tuned in through the entire session. You will know when we're moving from one part to the next. If you're in a deep meditative state at the end of the energy transmission, it's okay if you can't hang on to every word thereafter. The benefit of staying with us is what's most important, and the words can be replayed and read later. Once we are recording the audio and video, we will provide it in our website and social media pages, that video and the transcript, that is. As the session ends, we will sit together in silence for a few minutes and give you enough time to come back into this state of awareness. Enjoy your journey. I'll see you back here upon your return.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome and welcome back. I heard it's a special day today. We didn't necessarily plan to do this session on this particular day, but as things coincide, sometimes this is what happens. Apparently it's solstice, it's a solar eclipse, and a new moon. Sounds like a lot is happening out there and here. Well, this session increases often the sensitivity as well as expands one's consciousness. We're able to reach high frequencies, high energies through this opening that the channel provides. As Crystal said, it's fairly simple to receive this work through meditation or just lying down and being open and receptive. When these energetic adjustments are being done, there is something that happens that brings every single individual into an equally high frequency. Some sort of synchronization that will be done. And when every individual is in the same field, at the same frequency, the entire frequency of the group can be raised. So that's what's happening from my perspective. And when the frequency rises, sometimes some of you will get into a place between awake and asleep, some sort of trance state where you might be conscious, you might not be conscious, but it's a good place to be. It's a place where a lot of repair, realignment, recovery, recharging happens. And of course, the beautiful messages that we receive. They are to be viewed with the energy that they bring forth, not just the words or the meaning that comes with it. So explore receiving that energy from the adjustments as well as from the words that are being spoken. I personally love the silence between the questions, even the silence between the words. There is a quality to that silence. There is a special love to that silence. Thank you for joining, and see you after the session. Greetings, I'm Raphael. Thank you for your presence and your willingness to receive this transmission. It is intended to elevate your presence, to remove any obstacles and barriers that are in the way of carrying the highest potential of your existence. First, these barriers that are within your established mental, emotional, and physical energetic constructs must come to surface and into awareness. This coming into awareness of these barriers might not always come with comfort. Observe the discomfort. Allow it to be. Do not resist. Do not suppress. Do not omit that which arises. All that arises deserves to be seen, observed, understood, and transformed. These are aspects of your being, of this, of previous lifetimes, of this lineage, or other lineages that you have been part of. Aspects of humanity that you are intrinsically connected to. All that arises within you is you. You will start to become more fine-tuned in feeling and understanding yourself in all the ways that you have been shaped, in all the ways that your mind, your heart, your body, and your energetic spiritual construct operates, in all the ways that you interact, in all the ways that you have set conditions for relationship, beliefs about yourself, about others, about life, and about existence. Observe and get to know yourself even more closely, especially the parts that you would rather not see, especially the parts that you would others rather not to see. The parts of you that have been with you, yet have not received much attention. A neutral way of observing, allowing the emotions to rise and to move, allowing realizations to occur, and so that the transformation of the past can complete its course. This process requires trust. trusting yourself that you will be able to receive all that arises, that you will be able to survive all that arises, that you will be able to transform and realize the important learnings from all that arises. You do not know the benefits of this work yet. Yet as you follow this journey, as you transform, as you transmute, as you realize step by step, the benefits will become apparent. A shift in your being, a deeper alignment, deeper levels of content and fulfillment. A stronger presence, deeper and more loving relationships, a healthier perspective on yourself, a healthier perspective on others, and humanity itself. This work is the most important opportunity of life itself. The expansion, the evolution of your consciousness. You are ready. You are willing. All that it requires at this point is to trust that you will be held throughout this process, that you will be capable and able to witness and observe, to transmute and transform everything that arises. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with the process as it takes its course at the right pace. Thank you for receiving this work. Thank you for receiving this work. My work is complete. Greetings. My name is Emmanuel. You have been on this path the moment you were born. All experiences contributed to who you have become and to who you will be. And yet all aspects of your being are able to be adjusted and changed. Change itself can operate in an organic way, and as you change every moment, deeper and more consciously activated change requires interventions of this kind. In this accelerated form of change, your body, your mind, and your heart, your energetic and spiritual construct require rest and time for recovery. Some of the results of this change will not be immediate, but will take time and to fully integrate and to fully adjust the other parts of your being, operating at different levels of density. Changes to your physical will require the longest. Adjustments on the energetic body are the quickest. This is when you know to show and trust, as well as faith, that the processes initiated by yourself and by us for your evolution require your trust, require your patience. Understand that you are an ever-changing and ever-evolving being. On all the levels that you exist, in all parts of your being, you evolve. You continuously grow and expand. You are required to have this accelerated change. As humanity's awakening process and ascension process will require as many human beings on this transformational and awakening journey, on this self-realization journey as you are today. The transformation of the individual and the self-realization of the individual is the key to the evolution and the transformation and the ascension of humankind. And this is the nature of our gift to you. The more consistently and continuously we provide, the more you start to feel the benefits of this work, the more you will trust, the more you will build faith in your evolution and faith in humanity's evolution. If you can see and perceive that aspects of yourself are adjusting and changing, those that you thought to be rigid and solid, you will start to believe that truly in transformation, liberation, and continued self-realization is possible for you. Therefore, it is possible for everyone. Even the most rigid, from your perspective, lost beings deserve and are able to transform. Can you trust yourself to be present for those? Can you hold yourself and them in this unconditional love of creation? Often the imprints of your being, of this lifetime, the memories and the emotions will start to interfere with the presence and the quality of your presence in the very moment. Those unprocessed aspects of your past will demand attention. Those parts of you shall get the attention that they require. And with your increased presence, you shall continue your self-realization journey. You shall continue holding yourself in the highest and most potent love. You shall hold others in the same light, in the same love. You shall proclaim your readiness to be a witness for the evolution of a fellow human being. You shall proclaim your readiness for the evolution of humankind, of humanity as a collective. Some of you will be in action and in acts of service to this transformation. Some of you will be in acts of presence and attention. Some of you will merely observe. Allow yourself to enter the position that is relevant for you in the very moment. Allow yourself to be present for yourself, to be present for others around you, and to be present for humanity's evolution. Have faith that this transformation is possible. In every step that you take, a deeper level of trust will build, and your trust will be tested by those that resist, by the circumstances that will test your core beliefs, your core principles, your core values. Yet you will return to trust. You will return to a strong level of faith within, an understanding that you're held continuously by this fabric that holds all that is alive, all that is material and non-material. This fabric of creation, an infinite source of energy, an infinite source of love, an unconditional source of love. Whenever you are challenged, whenever your trust is tested, whenever your faith falls away, remember your way back to this infinite source of love. Reconnect, recharge, recover. Reinstitute yourself in the work that is in front of you. Reinstate your presence. And you will return to an even deeper level of trust, an even deeper level of faith, despite the uncertainty of the future. The one aspect you can rely on is the depth of your presence, the depth of the love that can move through you this will make you the most powerful transformative force on this human plane. Thank you for listening to my words. I will now answer some of your questions.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Claire asks, if we will all face challenges, what is the difference between living with faith and trust and not living with faith and trust? As in, how does the difference manifest? Is it only psychological?
The difference will be noticed on a mental, psychological level, as well as on an emotional. Most importantly, on an energetic and spiritual level, your presence will be deeper. Your consciousness will be more expanded, ready to receive, ready to provide, no matter what the challenge is. A different level of presence will be part of your existence if it is driven by the attributes of gratitude, of trust, as well as faith. Your presence in the moment of the challenge will not just impact yourself, but all those that are facing a similar or the same challenge alongside of you. Therefore, you will become a beacon of light, a beacon of hope, a beacon of presence. Very few human beings will be able to hold their faith in the face of the most difficult challenges. Very few individuals will be able to hold a continued level and trust of themselves and of others. You have the opportunity to practice. You have the opportunity to make this level of trust and faith part of your being, part of your mind, as well as part of your heart, part of your body. That has an intrinsic reaction to trust and moments of not trusting. As this becomes an integrated part of your being, life itself will shape your reality accordingly. Different situations will arise. Trust will bring forth abundance, will bring forth alignment, will bring forth deeper connection. Your reality will be shaped by the way your heart, your mind, and your energetic spiritual construct is set to receive, is set to give. As you can see, it is more than just a psychological benefit. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Azadeh asks, How can we trust a little further every day? Can you recommend a practice?
Every day when you wake up, you have trusted that you will fall asleep and hoped that you would wake up in your life, in your body, in your mind, and in your heart, that you will breathe and your heart will continue to beat, that the sun will continue to shine and the waters will continue to flow, that the air will continue to allow you to breathe, that the earth will continue to provide. And here you are in this very moment where all this intrinsic, unconscious and subconscious trust has been fulfilled. Promises given, delivered. Can you see the beauty in this assumed trust that you have? The way it is continuously provided and delivered to you? The human mind has an ability to forego all the beauties and the promises that are kept. The mind has a way to focus on all the ways things are not according to the expectations of the mind. It is a shift in perspective that is required, continuously understanding the deep gratitude one feels when every trust that is placed and granted for the moment ahead is delivered with love from earth, with love from the sun, with love from the universe, with love from creation, continuously in your presence. If this is the base of your mental framework, your emotional framework, then deeper levels of trust can be reached as the foundation is strong. Yet you are the one to remember. Every breath, every sip, every bite is a gift, is a promise kept. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Alex asks, one tradition that I explored suggested to avoid being outside during an eclipse. I was wondering if you can explain the energetic and physical impacts of an eclipse and if there is any reason to limit exposure or if there are any suggestions on how to receive the benefits of these openings. Thank you.
During the constellation of an eclipse, the Earth levels of frequencies rise. In this very moment, the veils between material and non-material planes become easily accessible, translucent, and interconnected in ways rarely experienced. This will bring forth the ability to communicate with non-material planes. It will bring forth the ability to receive energies from other planes of consciousness. It will bring forth a deeper love and connection to this earth, to the consciousness of this planet. A deeper love and connection to all astral bodies. The advice to not spend time outside during the eclipse is of cautionary nature. As the veils are thin, many energies are visible, accessible, and those that are not fully present may be subjected to the agendas of the various energies out and accessible. Yet an individual that is truly present, centered and aligned, will not be subjected to such agendas, and therefore can receive the benefits of the eclipse anywhere on this planet. Openings of this kind shall be seized as opportunities to reach even higher levels of consciousness, to receive a deeper level of adjustment and alignment from the earth as well as other astral bodies. Your ability to expand your consciousness, to increase your energy levels, the frequency at which you operate, all of this possible in moments of eclipses. Understanding that this opportunity, a rare opportunity, will provide a gift. Assigning time and presence for this opportunity with conscious preparation, you can truly receive the benefits of this opening. Some of you will be required to sit in silence. Some of you will be required to lie on the earth. Some of you will be required to sing and to dance. Some of you will be required to communicate with other planes. Stretch your being. Seize this moment and seize the opportunity. This is a gift, a rare gift, and it is yours. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Bat asks, My daughter's trust was violated when she was 12 by sexual abuse. Will she ever be able to develop trust again? What can I do to help her?
Your daughter had a difficult experience, a difficult challenge for any human being to receive, to observe, to transmute and to realize the important learnings, the understanding of life, the understanding of love, the understanding of being alive. Her trust was broken. Yet now, the trust that she holds in her heart must be reinstated, re-established. The only person that can truly do that is herself. For her to observe the past as an element of learning, even if difficult learnings. For her trust to be tested in this way, her trust in life, her trust in human relationship, her trust in humanity. Receiving the gifts of life is limited without this trust. Receiving love is limited without this trust. The question becomes, what is the life that she wants to live? And is she willing to open and to return to a deep level of trust despite the painful experiences of the past, so that she can live in the present and in the future moments fully, receive fully? She can be a representation that broken trust does not define who she is, does not define how she lives, how she sees herself, how she sees others and the world. She can truly become an example of returning to a deeper level of trust. And trust that she is okay, that life is okay, that humanity is okay. From this place, she can start to observe that she is more than okay. Start to expand into a space of greatness, into a space of deep expansion. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Jan asks, I have had many years of emotional and financial abuse from my ex-partner, and I find that I still allow it to happen. I feel so disempowered. How can I change this pattern in my relationships? It continues to feed my sickness, and I want to heal. Thank you.
In the life that you have lived, the way you have experienced a deep connection and love was in the form of abuse. your abuse became a representation of connection, a representation of love, in subtle, in unconscious and subconscious ways. This imprint must change. The imprint of receiving love through interactions and relationships of this kind does clearly not serve you even from your perspective. It is inhibiting your life for a reason. First, understand in all the ways these relationships have served you, even if it was to hold on to the belief that you are the victim of these situations, that they are the villains of this experience, that you require help that you do not get. Understand and appreciate this interplay to be an important element in your life. See the learnings and the realizations, the gifts that have come with these interactions. Observe the past experiences that have defined these mental and emotional patterns. Return to your memories. From this place of continuous observation, allow yourself to feel this infinite and unconditional love that always provides for you. Understand that this unconditional love is not dependent on other individuals, is not dependent on interactions that you have, on relationships that you have. It is truly unconditional and continuously providing for you. Allow this unconditional love to become the baseline and the foundation of your existence. With this foundation, you will start to experience changes in your behaviors. You will start to see changes in others' behaviors, as well as in the situations that you create for yourself, as these mental emotional patterns will start to transform with a new foundation that has been established. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Inez asks, "Greetings, Emmanuel. Could you please talk to us a bit more about the forces that are against human consciousness evolution and how we can recognize or avoid their interventions? Thank you."
Humanity's evolution continuously faces forces that are challenging the status quo. The challenge itself becomes fuel for opportunity and growth. in this continuous struggle, in this continuous effort between destruction and creation, humanity evolves and continuously pushes forward. This is an important cycle. Important mechanisms that have been established. Humanity's evolution will open many opportunities for higher consciousness as well as lower forms of consciousness to be present and to be part of this most important evolutionary stage. As we support humanity to evolve and to increase in their frequencies, other challenges will arise that will induce difficult situations of mental, emotional, physical, and energetic nature for those that observe, for those that devote themselves to change and transformation. These challenges will become fuel for evolution. For those that resist and suppress, for those that hold on to the old ways, it will become detrimental. It will become painful. The evolution of mankind is on track. The evolution of mankind and its consciousness is currently being accelerated. Your part is the part of your own evolution. Through your own evolution and continuous growth process, you will impact others that will equally be on an evolutionary track. Some individuals will be in service of greater nature and to support many other individuals on this plane. Some individuals will be in connection and in communication with higher forms of consciousness and provide their service as vessels of the divine. Wherever you find yourself, remember, for every force that opposes humanity, there is a force that supports. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Ali asks, what are the simplest steps one can take to quiet the mind?
To become present in the very moment, an important aspect of presence is breath. Understanding the ways breath brings life into your being, feeling the way this air makes its way through your nose, all the way through your throat into your lungs, experiencing and sensing the way your lungs continuously operate with every breath and bring oxygen into your system. Merely observing this process will make you even more present. Every breath, the cycles of breathing will allow for a deeper presence. The mind is busy as it is being overutilized. Allow yourself to rest more in between times of operating the mind intensely. Allow yourself to be in nature more often, and to allow your mind to adjust to the pace of nature. Whenever there is a free moment, remember, the mind does not need to be active at all points of your day. Stimulants will push the activity of the mind. The aspects that humanity has created on productivity, the perspectives and the rewards that are given for overactive minds is not supportive of this idea of quieting the mind, as the mind will establish itself as the most important aspect of your life, as the driving force for your success and for your well-being overall. Yet in moments of deep presence, when the mind is quiet, and the heart is quiet, the body is rested, a deeper alignment and a deeper presence comes to surface. A deeper well-being finds itself. Practice what I have suggested, and you will start to see the positive impacts into your life and your ability to quiet the mind. First, start simple. Later, continue exploring even more deeply. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Ray asks, is trust an act of will? If you trust, does the other become trustworthy? Or is there something else to the realization, some inner work or transformation of misalignments within?
And trust, as you experience it, happens on multiple levels of your being. The mind, the trust that the heart brings, the trust that the body brings, the trust that your energetic and spiritual construct will bring. Different parts of you trust in different levels, in different depths, and in different contexts. The alignment work and the process that is required to be done is to align all levels of trust into one. Will is not required. Trust will arise naturally from a place of alignment. Until this trust arises, you must observe in all the ways you do not trust. In all the ways obstacles and conditions have been established within your system, within your mind and your heart, within your energetic and physical bodies. In which ways does trust not arise naturally? In which ways have you kept distance? In which ways have you kept yourself captive of your own construct. Your ability to stay in alignment will allow you to trust even more. This allowance of trust is a naturally occurring and unfolding element of your being. This natural occurrence of trust will allow others to trust you even more. Are others trustworthy? Who is the one that defines? If you stay in your alignment and trust arises naturally, those that will come will be impacted by this alignment. Their presence will resonate with you or not. Your presence will resonate with them or not. Based on this resonance, you will choose your interactions. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Emily asks, I've recently been in situations where things I've said from a place of non-duality and with a goal of unity have been received as spiritual criticism. Do you have any advice on how I can navigate not silencing myself while holding space for others' feelings?
All individuals want to be met where they are. Observe and experience first where they are, their emotional states, their mental states, their energetic states. Become present and allow yourself to experience for a moment the pain, the emotions, the thoughts, the situations and the environments, the circumstances that they are in all the ways their thought forms and principles have been developed. Feel what it feels like to be them for a moment. From this place of observation, allow compassion to rise within yourself. Allow kindness to rise. Be present for their expression and continue to observe. Only when requested, provide your perspective. Often, the perspectives that are provided beyond duality are received to be distant, and to be misunderstanding, unrelatable, and challenging to apply to the very moment. Non-dual perspectives are better felt and experienced than spoken and communicated. You will feel the benefits of holding a non-dual perspective within. Your presence in a non-dual perspective will make a difference more than your words about non-duality. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Brandon asks, What are the mental and emotional constructs that we must release in order to establish trust and surrender?
The mind has taken the most important position to provide the perspective that it is responsible for your survival. It is responsible to keep you alive and thriving. As long as the mind has convinced you that it is the one taking care of you at all times, you will be subjected to the perspectives of trust that are established within the mind. You will always prioritize the mind's perspective on trust over your heart's, your body's, or your energetic spiritual constructs. The first step will be to understand that the mind is an advisor to your entire being. It is not the driving force of your existence. Allow to receive the perspectives of the mind and reflect on the perspectives of the mind. Do not act immediately. Reflect deeply, even with your heart, your body, and your energetic spiritual construct. If you can achieve this alignment, where your actions are continuous reflections from your entire being, than merely being executions of your mind's ideas, you will start to see that the levels and the conditions of trust that are established within the mind will start to soften and no longer be the ones driving your existence. The heart has a similar capability. Deep emotional states will bring forth a perspective on reality, a perspective on relationship, a perspective on others. In these deep emotional states, trust can be contracted, limited, as the heart has convinced you survival is at stake, and very few or no one can be trusted in this very moment. These contraction states are established through deep emotions of the past. These emotions must be observed, processed, and transformed into realization. And with every realization of a past emotion, a deeper level of trust is achieved. The heart becomes trusting again of the world, as it no longer perceives the world based on the wounds of the past, as it no longer limits your reality based on emotions that have created a reality in the past. These are the two aspects that will provide the strongest achievement in deeper levels of trust as well as surrender. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Someone from the live stream asks, many of us in the United States right now are concerned about escalating polarization, even to the extent that some are fearing a civil war and the collapse of our system of governance. Is this a likely outcome? Is there anything we can do to help prevent these challenging situations?
Giving you information about the future will most likely not change the future itself. It will create contractions and expectations of the future. It will create the pressure to act in a certain way in order to prevent a certain future, which in return might actually create the future that is not desired. Information and probabilities of future rarely have helped humanity. The challenges that you're facing, the polarities that you're seeing, are an expected outcome of this intensified and accelerated growth of consciousness and the rising of energies, all elements of humanity that have not been processed, all emotions of the individuals, all wounds of the past, all difficulties of previous generations and lineages are now required to come to surface. The higher frequencies in your plane will start to bring these elements to surface. Emotions will be expressed. Opinions and judgments that have not been expressed will come forth. With these emotions, a stronger polarity will occur. Not everyone will be able to digest and process what arises equally. It will require individuals like yourself to provide presence, to be in alignment, to allow individuals to move through the emotions and the challenges of the past, and to explore the situation of the present moment together, allowing all perspectives to arise, to be voiced, and to be processed. Will this lead to conflict, to challenge? Most likely. All times humanity expresses the full spectrum of its emotions, the full spectrum of its perspectives, in constructs that are fragile, will require transformation and reset, a realignment that will emerge from the separation of perspectives. First, allow the polarities to rise. Thank you for your question. Thank you for the time that you have assigned for yourself and the evolution of your consciousness, the evolution of mankind, is in your hands. Hello. It is hard for me to formulate my own thoughts. I feel a lot of love, a lot of gratitude, and an incredible amount of light that's moving through me and through this field and through all of you. Enjoy this moment and receive it all fully. Have a beautiful day, have a beautiful evening, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Welcome back, everyone. Take your time to come back into your body. Take any extra time you need in a sitting or lying position, or stay in this state as long as you need to. As we are coming back, I have a few gentle closing remarks. If you'd like to continue this journey, there are a few ways to do it. We have social media pages like Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube that can be followed and shared. You can invite family, friends, and community to these bi-weekly sessions. You can join our Monday integration calls. We've released our first book transmission, which is available on Amazon, and we're setting up a deep dive course into various subjects covered in the book that will launch in July. These sessions are just one part of the work that we do. We also travel to both sacred sites and sites of global trauma to do energy alignment work. Once we're able to travel again, we'll resume a tour through Europe and take a group of participants on a retreat to Greece. In the meantime, if you want to explore our previous sacred site adventures, we created a sacred site page, which is up on our website. This work is possible because of donations we receive. It not only supports Aseel, but it supports the whole production team. As you would imagine, it takes a village to bring the channel into this space and then beam it out to all of you. If you find this of value, please consider supporting this session with a donation. There are 3 ways to do this. If you're in Crowdcast, there's a donate button at the bottom of the screen. There's also 2 donate buttons on the left side of the homepage at aseeltoxal.com. You can donate via PayPal, paypal.me/ascension1, or you can become a Patreon patron at patreon.com/aseeltoxal. A quick reminder about the ending poll. In the beginning, we asked you how you were feeling. We'd like to ask the same question. Simply click on the poll button at the bottom of the Crowdcast screen. If you want to share deeper about your experiences, we have a community Zoom call on Mondays. We will also receive emails at testimonial@ascension.one. Energy work is felt in so many different ways, and it's helpful for us to have an understanding of how you're impacted. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for contributing your presence and your time. Despite being physically separated, when we gather in this way, I know we are together, and I feel the collective support we have for one another. Take it easy after the session. Give space for the energy to continue to work. If you can, keep your mind quiet. If you can't, bring this presence and peace to whatever it is that you need to do. I imagine you all as bright, shining beings right now, and that's really powerful.